episode of Talk It Out. Today we are going to discuss about divorce, one of the controversial issues in the Philippines, with the filing in both houses of Congress of bills that will bring divorce back to the country. Yes, you heard it right. We had divorce laws before, despite not having it now. We had divorce-like practices before the Spaniards colonized us. These practices are mentioned in several pieces of literature of pre-colonial Philippines. In fact, such are still being practiced by some of our indigenous peoples. On February 4, 2020, a bill proposing the legalization of divorce in the Philippines was approved by the Committee on Population and Family Relations of the Philippine House of Representatives. Currently, the Philippines and the Vatican are the only two sovereign states in the world that still prohibit divorce. Opponents of this initiative argue that if divorce is allowed, it will destroy the institution of marriage. Representative Edsel Lagman stated that spouses who are willing to consider divorce do so when they no longer have a functioning marriage, and it is because of failed marriages and the impossibility of reconciliation that the bill's explanatory note says that the Philippine state has the duty to provide spouses in such relationships with the possibility of divorce. The Committee on Population and Family Relations of the Philippine House of Representatives is expected to refer to the approved bill to the full House for further analysis and debate.
Philippines are a very family-oriented country, and that is the reason why divorce is still considered illegal, except for Muslims. Many parents are worried about their failing relationship and marriage they are experiencing, and because of that, they think that divorce will be the only way to protect their children from the trauma. However, divorce can be associated with many negative outcomes. If divorce will be legalized in our country, one of the negative outcomes of divorce is it will create many broken families. When parents divorce, the most and mainly affected is the child. For instance, a 2017 study found that children living in intact nuclear families are about half as likely as children in step-blended or one-parent families to have a mental disorder or need psychological help. In fact, studies show that the psychological effects and emotional strain of divorce even linger into adulthood. For instance, researchers at the University of Toronto found that men from families that divorced during their childhood were more than 3 times more likely to consider suicide than men whose parents never divorced. Family is the main support system of a child, and if the parents of that child gets divorced, the child will have difficulty to cope up with these problems because their main support system is now broken. The children will lose the concept of a family. The relationship between the parents and their child will be much different, and it will have a huge conflict that can affect both of their lives. In my opinion, I really think that divorce is not good for the whole family. Divorce will destroy the relationship and their love for each other. Family is the basic unit of the society. Just like in a society, the father, mother, children, are all of them should be able to work to create a functional family. If one of them failed, the whole family will collapse and break apart. I really believe divorce should not be legalized because of the reason that it will create a broken family and for the benefit of the children's overall state.
Both sides are affected, but as MIGUELLA said, children are the most affected when the family is going through divorce. Because of divorce, one can experience different negative emotions. This can lead to a broken family, where the family members have significant emotional problems with one another and where one will have difficulties in interacting with the other family members. This can affect how a person functions. Thus, he or she may not do his role in the family properly, creating a family that is not functioning well. The harmful effects are as follows.
Divorce can be a difficult time for a family. Not only are the parents realizing new ways of relating to each other, but they are learning new ways to parent their children. When parents divorce, the effects of divorce on children can vary. Some children react to divorce in a natural and understanding way, while other children may struggle with the transition. Divorce is difficult for all members of the family. For children, trying to understand the changing dynamics of the family may leave them distracted and confused. This interruption in their daily focus can mean one of the effects of divorce on children would be seen in their academic performance. The more distracted children are, the more likely they are not to be able to focus on their schoolwork. Divorce can affect children socially as well. Children whose family is going through divorce may have a harder time relating to others and tend to have less social contacts. Sometimes children feel insecure and wonder if their family is only the family that has gotten divorced.
Research has suggested divorce can affect children socially as well. Children whose family is going through divorce may have a harder time relating to others and tend to have less social contacts. Sometimes children feel insecure and wonder if their family is only family that has gotten divorced. Gerald Patterson of the Oregon Social Learning Center concluded that poor social skills characterized by aversive or coercive interaction styles lead directly by rejection by normal peers. Fear of such peer rejection is twice as likely among adolescents of divorced parents. Their social relations are likely to be damaged in several ways and characterized by more problems relating to peers, fewer childhood friends, and a greater tendency to complain about lack of peer support. According to Kent State University, compared to children from intact families, children of divorced parents did worse when rated by both parents and teachers on peer relationships. Hostility towards adults, anxiety, inattention, and aggression. Moreover, divorce frequently relates to depression, anxiety, or substance addiction in children or in one or both parents, which can make balancing job or child raising difficult. This issue can affect a parent's capacity to provide stability and love to their children when they are most in need. Sensitive to emotions. Divorce can bring a variety of emotions to the surface for a family, and the children involved are no exception. This shift may cause feelings of loss, rage, uncertainty, worry, and a variety of other emotions. Divorce can leave children feeling emotionally drained and exhausted.
That's right. Much of hospitality is associated with increased aggression and disruptive behavior on the part of children, which in turn seems to lead to peer rejection, academic failure, and other antisocial behavior aside from the social, emotional, and mental effects of divorce. The financial aspect may also be affected negatively. Divorce can lead to fewer resources after a split. It's hard to make the total family income cover the expenses of two households rather than one. The consequence is that many or most lone parents end up depend on the government benefits. Generally, women suffer more financially than do men from divorce. The financial burden is the greatest during the first year after divorce and varies depending on how much money the woman contributed to the family income before divorce, and the ability and willingness of her former husband to make child support payments. About 1 in 5 women fall into poverty as a result of divorce. About 3 women who own a home and have children at home, when they divorce, lose their homes. Women often need the help of public assistance programs to supplement their family finance, which often still fail to cover all financial necessaries after divorce. Although mothers usually suffer financially from divorce, some research says that in recent years, the situation has improved.
For children, harmful effects can be higher rates of depressed mood, lower self-esteem, and emotional distress. Other children may also develop an increase in empathy for others. Examples of reasons for divorce are communication problems and instances of infidelity. Each relationship is unique in its own way, and each person will react to the situation differently. We all have different circumstances, so the reasons for divorce and its effects on adults and children may vary. Some couples find it better to part ways in order to escape abuse, or maybe it is much better to split up instead of letting their children witness their fighting. While some do not manage it well, that's why they ended up being swallowed by depression. For me, a couple should not give up easily. First, they should try on salvaging their relationship, but if no matter what they do, and they think that splitting up is for the best, then I will respect their decision. Whatever choice they make, they should always take into consideration the effects of it on their children, and as much as possible, try to minimize the negative ones. Despite the circumstances, they should do their best to provide their children a strong foundation for a successful and happy life. And no matter what happens, they should be able to provide for the basic needs, love, and acceptance that their children need. That's all for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we all hope to see you on the next episode of Talk It Out.